Everyone in media. I hope you are fine wherever you may be. I think everyone is around the world at the moment. I've had a lot of emails today about the summative, and clearly there's not an understanding of what this is, so I'm going to explain it in this video. Now, first thing to say, the deadline, I have put this deadline to the Sunday evening, 22nd. Okay, so that's this week. Now, we did a formative on the 10th of March, and if you submitted it, you will have had feedback on your ideas. So those of you who've done that will already have something that you can use for this. So here is what the summative consists of. So this is the question. Do you believe the media, the Western or American media, is reliably reporting what is happening around the world? Now, we watched Bowling for Columbine, and the central argument of that film is that the media is in a constant race to portray the world as fundamentally unsafe, fundamentally inherently dangerous. And for Americans, that means seeing outsiders as a threat, seeing foreign countries as a threat. We only have to look at the coronavirus catastrophe and see the whole thing about bat soup that was being circulated and making, how China was portrayed in the early stages of that. Now, the question is, do you think it is reliably reporting? You have to go for yes or no. In most cases, you'll probably say no, but there's no right answer to this. Now, what you have to do is find 3 sources to support your argument. Now, someone in the class handed in these about Brazil, and these articles are from The Guardian. They talk about the president of Brazil. The Western media has a real problem with Bolsonaro. I don't know much about him myself, other than supposedly he is pretty bad, but I don't really know why. And so this is about destruction of the Amazon forest to make hamburgers through beef. And this is just generally having a bad, these things that they say about him. So these articles would support that. This is another source that further demonstrates the point that the media is not reliable. So the people viewing are not, the consumers of media do not believe that what they're reading is true. Now, when you have your 3 sources, you'll want to go through them. You'll want to pick out words. You'll want to pick out phrases. Look at the way this image, for example, is there to create pity, perhaps, for people reading it, thinking what a terrible. You see this, the lawless, far-flung region, filled with gangs, Mato Grosso. You can go through and you can pick out the way in which this media source presents either a negative or a positive view of the subject. So those 3 things you should have there. Okay, now you can also refer to Bowling for Columbine if you want. That's this media source, so you can refer to the arguments there. But the main thing is that what we're talking about is, is it yes or no, is it fair? And with your 3 different media sources, argue your point. Now, 2 things to mention. I'll get rid of that. 2 things to mention. Marking criteria. So this is going to be assessed AO1, Assessment Objective 1. Okay, and you'll see that goes on throughout the things. So the way marks are given, the description which best matches the work, whether it's high or low within that range, and then that's multiplied by 4. Now, if you look at these, demonstrates highly relevant knowledge, sophisticated understanding of media concepts, sustains highly relevant and well-developed arguments linked to media contexts and critical debates with exemplification. That means giving examples. So you will want, with your 3 sources, you will want to go through and basically point out the way in which this you think that the media is not a reliable reflection of the truth. Okay, and you should be able to do that. Now, how do you present it? I would recommend you use QuickTime Player. QuickTime Player, when you go to it, has a function that allows you to do a screencast. I would show you how to do that, but I'm using QuickTime Player to make this video, so if I can't go into it. It's not very difficult to do, and that will record your whole screen as you talk into your computer. As you move your mouse around, you flick from pages, it will simply produce a video. Just make sure that your microphone is on before you start recording, because that is you just have to make sure that's on. There's a way to do that. You probably want to look at a YouTube video on how to use QuickTime Player if you don't know it, but it's there. And like I said, the deadline is Sunday, so you can ask me any questions on this tomorrow. If you did the formative on the 10th of March, then you're going to be in a good position to just basically do this. I would think the whole thing will be about 5 minutes long as a video, which you can then throw into YouTube and send the link. And that will be the summative. Next week, we're going to move on with more of the directorial concept. But for now, that is what we've got. So I hope that makes sense. And let me know on the chat tomorrow, this function here, if you have any questions during the regular lesson time. Otherwise, you have a few extra days to do it. Okay?